I do about 120 to 150 videos a year, public videos. And sometimes I like, this video is going to knock it out of the park. This is a great video. And no one cares about it. And then I'll make a video and I'm like, this video is just dumb. I'm making it because one of my subscribers asked me to, or some friend. I heard someone saying they didn't know how to do this. And that video takes off.
Hello, this is Christy. Welcome to the Media Makers Club podcast. Thank you for joining us. Today, I have my good friend Chris Menard joining me. He may also become my co-host in the future, but we would like to talk today about Chris's YouTube channel. And Chris really is a well-known public speaker. He's a YouTuber. He's a Microsoft certified trainer. His YouTube channel has over 900 videos, and last I checked, it was about 65,000 subscribers, featuring various tools such as Excel, Teams, Copilot, Word, Zoom, Outlook, Gmail. These videos, they have been appreciated by over 18 million viewers. So that's not small feat. In addition to his YouTube channel, Chris has created 4 online training courses, and when he's not busy creating videos or learning new technology, Chris enjoys spending time with his wife and 2 sons, and apparently wasting his time on my podcast. Here we go. So Chris, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you giving me the time today to talk about these things. How are you?
Hey, I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me. I don't know who wrote that bio, but I'm going to take it and throw it into Copilot and tell it to shorten it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it might be a bit long. Yes.
Yeah, that's all right though. One thing I hate is being introduced somewhere. I just can't stand it. Like if someone says, "Hey, here's Chris Menard. He works blah blah blah." That one's okay. I hate when they get into the details about, "Oh, he does this and he does that." Like, no one cares.
How did you get started with your YouTube channel? How did you decide to do YouTube videos on Microsoft software?
Back in the day, I had a Gmail account, and my Gmail account came with a Google account. So with that Google account, I had the YouTube channel. I just never knew I did. So oh man, this is going to make me sound old. Back in 2011, I uploaded my first video to YouTube, and it was my Beagle, Gracie. It was a video of her at the window howling at somebody. And that was the only video I did that year. It was 2015, 2016 before I actually got serious about making videos. In fact, 2012, I went and looked at my numbers. I didn't do any videos. Here, I'm going to bore people for a second. 2013, I made 20 videos. Yeah, it was 2016, I made 93 public videos. So that's when I got serious about being a YouTuber. And I'm like, hey, I remember I was always trying to write stuff, and it's not that I'm against writing stuff. Here's the steps on how to do. I'm making this up, word headers and footers. But I'm like, oh, it's just so much easier to make a video, and I enjoy doing it. So that's kind of where it came from.
So you were using those videos in your day-to-day work, right, for your training?
Yeah, I've been using Microsoft since '97 when I got laid off from my job, and someone asked me outside of a Target if I could teach Excel, and I actually had no clue if I did. But when you're broke and you need money, you can do almost anything. So yes, that's when I started teaching.
Yeah. Say yes and figure it out later.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I'm like, okay, what's this Excel thing?
That's also my attitude. Just, tell people you can do it. I'm recently started learning DaVinci Resolve. And a couple of weeks ago, I didn't know much about it. I knew of it, but I didn't know much how to use it. And I'm learning quite fast. And yeah, that's great. Just say
so now I got to ask you something. What the heck is DaVinci Resolve?
Oh, DaVinci
Just so
Resolve
your audience, like, what's DaVinci
editor.
Resolve? Okay.
Yeah, it's a video editor, sort of like Adobe Premiere or other ones. It's very advanced, specializes in color grading and all those things, but it does a lot of other stuff. It's a bit of a steep learning curve, but I think the appeal is that it's free. So a lot of people just get all the features for free. There's a bunch of features. Yeah, there's a bunch of features that are part of the more like the paid version, but the free version gives you everything you need to produce videos, especially for YouTube. Forget about it. Yeah, it's great. So I wanted to ask you, how did you grow your channel? How did you start to actually grow the channel? Because a couple of videos now and then isn't going to make much of a dent, specifically today on YouTube, where competition is so high and it's such a crowded space. How did you and when did you notice growing after What did you do and caused growth to go on?
My channel was a little unusual in that it was growing as far as watch time and views, but it wasn't growing as far as subscribers, and it was my fault. So back in 16, 17, sometime in 17, YouTube sent me this email, says, hey, we can monetize your videos. And I got like, oh, sure, if you want to pay me for my videos, absolutely. So I remember the first, it was March of 17 I'm going back to. I made $64.20. And then April, I made $59. They didn't send you the money either by check or wire back then until you hit a $100 threshold. But once I got that first little check, it was a little over $100, I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I actually went over $100 in just 1 month. That was in October of 17. So a lot of people that are YouTubers for the last 5 years will remember this. It was back in January and February of 2018, YouTube sent out a notice saying, hey, you've not only got to have 4,000, I think it was watch hours or something, you've got to have 1,000 subscribers. And here I go back to that subscribers. So at the time, I had 8,000 watch hours. So my videos were popular, but only had 563 subscribers, so they quit paying me. And they weren't paying me that much, but I remember I was really furious. I'm trying to watch my language on the podcast. And I remember talking to you about it. I remember we having this discussion, and you're the one that told me, well, you telling people to subscribe. And I'm like, no, why would I tell people to subscribe? If they want to, they will. So you're just like, no, you got to tell them to subscribe at the beginning. You got to tell them at the end. You got to put this little thing down there and blah, blah, blah. So I started doing the better titles. I actually had videos with no descriptions. So I put in the description. I told people to subscribe and all that other stuff, keywords, thumbnails. I didn't have thumbnails. I'll just use them whatever came with it. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a little over 5 months with no money. And then in August, I went over 1,000 subscribers. So I got back in the program, and it really started taking off then, back in August of 2018. But sometimes there's that expression, sometimes when bad things happen, something good will happen out of it. That's what good is. I got my act together with my YouTube stuff.
So you didn't care much for the monetization and, whatever, monetized. But now that they're taking it away, you're furious.
They took away my $100 a month. I'm telling you, I was furious for a week. So the words were flying. Like, how dare they?
Yeah. They had to raise the bar a bit because it was getting too crowded, I suppose. Lots of money being paid. So while you were growing your channel, so you made a decision to post more often, I suppose, be more intentional with thumbnails and keywords, descriptions, all those things that you weren't doing in the past. So what were some challenges that you faced while trying to grow the channel? What was some things that you were experiencing, like, hey, I'm doing these things, but still maybe it's not really going as well as I wanted to?
I know every successful YouTuber's had this issue. You look at a channel that's similar to yours and somebody who you say, okay, their videos are pretty good, but they're not as good as mine. But all of a sudden, they're growing leaps and bounds, and you're like still, you're picking up a few subscribers every month here and maybe a little extra revenue. And you're like, why isn't my channel taking off? That's just part of the game. I don't worry about it anymore. Like, I forget about that. Just worry about my channel. Worry about the content, good content. So that's actually something else that drives me crazy. And you know this from your channel. I do about 120 to 150 videos a year, public videos. And sometimes I like, this video is going to knock it out of the park. This is a great video. And no one cares about it. And then I'll make a video and I'm like, this video is just dumb. I'm making it because one of my subscribers asked me to, or some friend. I heard someone saying they didn't know how to do this. And that video takes off. I have a video, and I thought this is going to be the dumbest video, on how to delete a blank page in Microsoft Word at the end of the document.
I know that one, yeah.
And I'm like, this is just so simple. Who wouldn't know how to do this? But it's not as simple as it sounds, apparently, because that's one of my most popular videos, is how to delete that page at the end of the document.
For 3 minutes of work, or how long is that?
3 minutes. Yes, about 3 minutes. But I think I showed 2 or 3 different ways to do it.
Great. So there was a big spike or a significant growth in your channel's views and success, really, even subscriber numbers, back in the pandemic. Why was
Yes.
that, do you think?
Oh, that's a good one. You know what's funny is I forgot about that now. I'm wearing a Microsoft shirt, and I don't work for Microsoft, and I don't get anything from Microsoft. I got this shirt because I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. We'll talk about that later. But I love software in general. I love Gmail. I love Google Calendar. I love Zoom. I have been using Zoom at least since 2015, way before the pandemic. I've always liked Zoom. Well, I had a bunch of Zoom videos. So the pandemic hits, and at the time, no one knew what Microsoft Teams was, and people knew what WebEx was and all that, but not that many people were using it. But everyone went to Zoom, and my Zoom videos just took off. My revenue just spiked way up. In fact, I believe it was April of the pandemic. What was that? April of 2020? Yeah, April of 2020. I still have not made as much money as I made that month.
Yeah, everybody was trying to figure out Zoom. Yeah, that's
And
true.
everyone was watching my Zoom videos. I pulled up the analytics, and everyone's watching Zoom. And it kept going April, then May. May was still way up, but not as much. So that was a good year for me. So, of course, by the way, speaking of stuff about YouTube, well, the next year rolls around where everyone's figured out Zoom then. So my Zoom videos aren't bringing in the money that they were, and my revenue's down compared to the previous year. And again, that's something you just keep on going.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I got to figure out something else. So
Correct. Yeah. So talking about that, actually, because if you're just putting all your eggs in one basket, let's say, all your eggs in the Zoom basket, yeah, and all your eggs in the Excel basket, all the eggs in the... So can you talk a little bit about diversifying your content? Because a lot of people sort of publish videos and they kind of put themselves into a corner and say, I am the Excel guy, I am the Camtasia guy, which is a mistake I made. I made a lot of videos just exclusively almost Camtasia stuff. And it can be a little hard to get out of that because your audience by now has come to know your channel like that's the Camtasia guy, that's the Excel guy, that's the Zoom guy. So if you're on Zoom, go to that. But then you try and say, okay, Zoom has died down. Zoom content and, a need for learning Zoom has gone down. And now there's not much revenue, like you said, and not much view for that. What are your thoughts on diversifying your content? What's your approach to that?
definitely need to do it. There's a few exceptions. For example, if you were doing a cooking show, I'm assuming all you're going to be doing is cooking, but maybe you're going from cooking, I don't know, cooking on the grill to all of a sudden you're cooking in the kitchen on the stove one day. I don't know. But for me, I've always covered the Microsoft Office stuff heavily, especially Excel. And the reason is there's just so much stuff to show in Excel, but I still love doing Word and PowerPoint and Outlook and the OneNote and all the other stuff. But I've done Google Gmail, Google Calendar. One of my most popular videos is how to pull a CSV file into the Google Calendar. People love that video. And I still get a lot of questions about that. I've done Adobe once in a while. Like I have an Adobe subscription. So I like to mix it up, but I like to make sure I always hit, this is the Excel guy. You know you're going to get an Excel video with them, 1 or 2 a week for sure, or 1 or 2 every 2 weeks or something. Same thing would apply to you to Camtasia. I see you doing other stuff, but you still always do something in Camtasia.
That's a good strategy to be diversifying, but probably not all at once, and continue to do the videos that brought your initial loyal audience to you in the first place, but slowly start to diversify. And also the idea is that you're diversifying, but you're also kind of diversifying to related topics. You're not suddenly starting to do car mechanic videos, fixing your car stuff, when you've been doing Excel videos for many years. So you're trying to go into something that's sort of related to the first thing you did. So my thought was, okay, I've been doing Camtasia. Camtasia is not a very difficult program to learn. And at some point, I'm like, well, I kind of exhausted everything I could show and do with Camtasia. Sure, there's a new version now and then every year, and they bring a couple of new features in. Great, you show those. But then, okay, it felt like I hit a ceiling with that. So then I started to say, well, I am using Descript every day. Why not start to do some of those videos? But the thing you see is, and which could get you discouraged after a while, because you put these new videos out in between the other videos you keep doing, but you see that every time you put a video out that's a new topic, you get one or two people unsubscribing, or maybe some people say, we see you've moved on to something, which I haven't. Yeah. So it could be the same to you when you started to introduce things with, maybe have you noticed this when you started introducing Copilot? Because this is, yeah, it is a related topic and it is something new, but maybe there's another one that you notice people unsubscribing from.
I'm going to take the opposite approach of most people. You need those 1,000 subscribers to get monetized, along with the 4,000 hours. And I don't want my current subscribers to take this the wrong way, or anyone's thinking about subscribing. I don't care about subscribers. I don't mean that in a bad way. I would love more subscribers because I'm looking to shoot for that 100,000, but I don't make videos to attract subscribers. I make videos for the content, and I want someone to say, okay, he told us to subscribe at the beginning, at the end of the video, and I liked what he showed, so that's why I'm going to subscribe. So if you're talking about YouTube revenue, and I think we've talked about this just not on camera before, but just us in general, the videos that make me the most money are the videos that I've had out there over a year or 2 years. So it's like when I come out with new content, I don't make a video to make money, or else you're just going to be miserable. I make a video because it's something people have asked me about, or it's something I believe people need, and I hope it makes money. And it usually takes a year or two to get there. I mean, it'll make money the first month, but it's not making the money. It's not in my top 10, put it that way. And I've got, 900 videos. So
yeah. Videos do take a while to get into the search. First of all, a couple of weeks maybe to get into YouTube search.
What's that term you love? Evergreen, right? Is that what you're talking about? Evergreen.
Exactly. That's my strategy. Evergreen content. And again, not just for the money. Of course, every YouTuber may say, yeah, I just do it because of the passion. Yeah, that's great. Well done to you. But right. It's not, if you get some income from it, what are you going to say? No, thank you.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it has to be a way to monetize and to sustain this thing.
Not to take you off your agenda, but we had a great conversation. We may need to make this our own podcast one day. But remember, we're discussing for someone new to YouTube, approximately how many videos you need to make to get monetized. And I can't remember the number we came up with.
I think it was 127, I think, something like that. Yeah,
we had it down for some reason. We had the data to back it up too. And it was over 100 though, for sure. I do remember that.
Yeah. Someone did a study and I'm sure the number is much higher now. And of course, it depends on the quality of your videos, what topic you're doing. Some people can go overnight. They go viral and crazy. But how many people do get viral? Not so many. Okay?
Very, very few. Yeah.
So it's not, everybody seems to try to aim for the extremes. So they say, I'm going to start a channel or whatever online content creation business or whatever I'm trying to start. And everybody thinks they're going to be the extreme. They're going to be the outlier. They're going to be special in some way. And then when they don't become viral, they don't get special. They don't get any super attention from anywhere. Numbers are not going up. They get discouraged and they quit. That's why a lot of people quit, because they aim for the thing. Yeah, I'm going to get the gold stuff. No. Just keep doing the day-to-day. So this is what I say to everybody. And a lot of the internet gurus say this too. When you start YouTube, just give it 100 videos. That's my advice, to just do 100 videos. I think Mr. Beast said this. I don't even know who said it, but just do 100 videos, see how you go after that. And for those 100 videos, they say, become a 1% better for each one, which is becoming a cliche right now, because I don't know how I can measure that all the time. 1% better than yesterday. What am I going to do? Make my thumbnail a little more colorful? What? It's very hard to figure out. And a lot of beginners say, all these gurus give you this advice and they have all these tricks and things to teach you. But many of them don't go specific. Like, okay, 1% better. At what? I changed my microphone. That has to be a 50% better or 100% better if I get a better microphone. So then for the next 50 videos, I'm okay. What?
Don't you? Yeah, you'd be a lot better if you're using your web camera microphone and got a real microphone. Yeah, that'd be a lot better actually.
Yeah. So I've switched to using my iPhone as a camera.
Your iPhone as a camera is, yes, I'm really impressed with that. Like, okay, He didn't even go buy a camera, just using his iPhone.
Yeah. So we talked about your channel and we talked about success story. I was going to ask you if you had any significant things that happened or unexpected things that happened to your channel to maybe help you grow significantly, which was obviously your event in the pandemic where everybody started becoming interested in Zoom. So is there any other event that you can think of that was really great, maybe unexpected, that had a nice effect on your growth?
I do public speaking, and since I work full time, I'll do maybe 2 events a year is all I can do. That always seems to help, because if I'm at a conference and there's 2,000 people there, and let's say I speak to 800 over a 2-day period, those 800 people at some point have usually clicked on my YouTube channel, and a lot of them will start watching stuff and subscribe. Actually, I got a speaking from the YouTube channel. Someone saw me speak in public in Orlando, Florida, went back to their headquarters, told them, got a great public speaking gig, and then the company, of course, they started watching my YouTube videos, so that one went around. It was pretty cool. So
that's nice. So you like doing live shows.
I like being in front of people speaking. Yeah, I love live training. So
it's much more interactive, and you get all that feedback immediately. And
yes, that is one of my favorite things to do. And I don't like traveling that much. That's why I think in your bio, I said I like traveling to the Southeast. I can drive around the Southeast. I don't like flying, but if I have to get on a plane, I will.
And also, you do these events and you have your channel, but you have something in the middle too. Talk about your courses for a bit.
So I finally broke down and I said, you know what? I keep making these Excel videos, so let's make an Excel online training video. And I came up with Excel Essentials, which some people call Excel Basic, but I use the word Essentials, Excel Intermediate, and Excel Advanced, and put all 3 of those courses together. And then I use Thinkific to host it. There are other hosting. Thank you. You got their name wrong. Anyway, I use that to host it. There's other hosting plans. I've used other ones like Teachable. I'm not saying one's better than the other. But that's something that I did. You actually assisted me with that. I appreciate getting that running. So then I said, well, you know what? If you wanted me to name my top 5 apps, obviously Excel's in there, but Microsoft Teams is in there. I'm in Teams all the time, and I love Teams. So I made a Teams online training course, and it's over 3 hours. People say, well, Teams, what are you going to do in Teams? Oh, there's so much it does. There's so much it does that people don't know about. So it's a 3-hour course.
Great. So you're promoting that on your channel, your
all the time. Courses.
Also, you give them, I think, like a discount for the people who come to your live events too.
Yeah, sometimes if you're at one of my live events, you may get that course for free. The conference people like that I do that, and I like that I do that. Occasionally, I'll get them a huge discount. It varies, but sometimes it'll be free. What I like about the online courses is it ties in. If I'm training a group of people, let's say I'm training 15 people in Excel, instead of me having to give them hard copy handouts or a PDF file even, they've got something they can go back and look at and say, yeah, I remember doing this exercise, and there's the Excel file we used. So it's a great refresher.
That's nice. So you're tying that up to PDFs and handouts, those are old-fashioned.
They are old-fashioned. People still do that, believe it or not. People still do that. I'll still get asked sometimes, do you have the instructions written? But I do blog posts too to keep those people happy. So when I write a blog post, I'll follow Microsoft and Google's format. Somewhere on there is the video, and also are the written steps. And I try to keep everything on an online site now. Usually my website, I'll put it on there. I like to blog.
So I think some of our listeners are going to be curious about how you balance creating the content, how you plan ahead, maybe how you record. What's your plan for publishing on your YouTube channel? Just coming back to the channel for a minute.
Back to the channel. I mentioned this, I like to do 2 or 3 videos a week. I probably should do this, but I do not have a set schedule. And I probably should, but I know some people say, hey, every Wednesday they got a new video at 10 o'clock Eastern time or something. Me, I'm like, I'll tell you, publish 2 or 3 videos. I don't care when you stick them out there. So in case someone wants to know how I work, I do all my videos on Saturday morning and Sunday morning. I'll get up at 4 or 5 in the morning. In case you're wondering, why do I get up so early? Turn off the heater or the AC. It's cool. In the summertime, it's cool then. Neighbors aren't out cutting the grass, the leaf blower. I try to whip through the videos. and then I'll upload them, and I'll give you some instructions, and you usually do the editing and publish them. Actually, don't even publish them. You publish them for me. I could publish them, or you'll schedule them to be published.
Right. So you're getting a bit of help.
I am getting some help, but I have done this all on my own before, but I work full time now, and I like what you do with my videos.
So can you share a bit? I know that you do a lot of evergreen content, and that's like the overarching strategy, which means it doesn't really matter, like you said, when you're publishing something, because it's not you're not covering the news, you're not covering trending events or any kind. So it really doesn't matter if in 1 week you publish 2 or 3 videos or 5 or 1. But how do you come up with video ideas? How do you kind of say, you know, do I have a topic and maybe I haven't covered this thing, now I want to do it? Or do you kind of take a more progressive approach?
That is a great question. One way I always come up with is if someone asks me a question on a video I've already done in the comment section on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, that's a great question. I didn't even think about that. Someone asked me today a question about conditional formatting, finding numbers greater than something. Instead of just doing it with the conditional formatting, I did a mixed and absolute reference with it. I'm sure some people are going, what the heck is he talking about? One other way is I like to find out, I don't care whether it's Adobe, Google, Descript, and you know this from Descript, Camtasia, somebody's always got a new feature. There's always a new feature. Every week there's something new, or you figure out something you haven't seen. Microsoft says, hey, here's a new feature in Excel. I want to be the first one to make a video on that. I don't know if that actually helps my numbers any, to be honest with you, but I like go ahead and knocking out that skill set. As an example, Microsoft has this feature in Excel that's slowly rolling out where if I go into Excel and I have a list of first names and last names, I can click over in the next cell and type in the first name and last name, then do a second one, and someone's going to say, Chris, isn't this flash fill? No. Excel figures out the formula that I need. So it did the left function and it did the right function and it joined them together with concatenate. And that way, if the names change, first or last name, the formula is correct, unlike flash fill, which is static. And it is so cool. It'll even, if some of those names are lowercase in the first name or last name, and I go type it in proper case, it'll throw in the proper function along with that in the function. It is amazing. It is called Formulas by Example. And it just recently came out. I made a video about that.
So that's not powered by Copilot, is it? The new?
That is not Copilot. That is just an Excel feature that's going to be coming out.
Cool. So the reason you know about these is because you're part of the Insider program at Microsoft or something?
I am. Anyone that wants to can go to Microsoft 365 Insider program and read the blog post. And if you want to sign up to be a Microsoft 365 Insider, so you can test these features, it is free to do. In case someone's watching this podcast and you're at a company, you would probably need to go talk to somebody in your IT department, and I doubt they're going to let you become an insider there. It's available for personal use or business use if your company would allow it.
So because of your background with Excel, now here's a question for you, because I know a lot of people look at analytics in YouTube, and there's quite a lot. And I believe out of all the platforms out there, the analytics you get in YouTube are much, much better and more comprehensive than any other platforms, at least the ones I've worked with. So they do give you a lot of information, but that can be a little overwhelming after a while, because you're like, well, I'm looking at the numbers, but I don't really know what I'm seeing. I can see the growth going up maybe, or I had a dip or some kind, and I see the total numbers of things. But how do you look at the numbers in analytics? What are some of the things that you go to quickly? Because everybody just looks at subscribers maybe, and yeah, fine.
Yeah. I am really big on the watch time. I don't know why. I know a lot of people love views. I'm really big about how long are people watching my videos for. I love watch time. I do love the views also. I have an Excel spreadsheet that I keep up with, but I go and get the data from YouTube every month. I keep up with the views, the watch time, subscribers, revenue. I think it's CPM and RPM. And I think that's about all I keep up with. But I like to compare. So when you're sitting there looking at it, YouTube's going to tell you that you're down 3% from the previous month or from the previous week or whatever. I don't care. And the reason I don't care, I want to know how August of this year compares to August of last year. That is a year-over-year comparison. Because you're going to find out with YouTube, depending on what type of channel you have, when people go back to school in January or whatever month they go back to school. I've been out of school, so whenever they go back to school, my numbers always go up because there's college kids watching my videos. The summer, it always goes down because most of my users are business people and they're on vacation. The week of Christmas is a horrible week. Christmas Day is the worst day for me ever. No big deal. So I don't get worried about that. So I try to look at it monthly.
So you do look at the sort of more long-term numbers.
I'm looking at it long-term because, you know, I don't care whether you're starting out or been doing it for as many years as I have. I make videos because I love to make videos. I'm not going to lie. The money from YouTube ads is nice, but I make videos because I love to make videos and I want to make videos that people want to see. And again, I mentioned this, sometimes I'm just way off on it, but sometimes I always remember this. It's not the video I'm making today may not be popular today or the next 6 months, but a year from now, that video may be kicking it. So,
yeah, that's a side effect of the evergreen strategy I've seen as well. I mean, the top videos on my channel are surprisingly, well, maybe not surprisingly, but they are not Camtasia videos, and they are not Descript videos.
Yeah,
I'm doing
told
most
me this, and I'm not going to mention it, but I know what your #1 video is, and it really surprised me. I'm like, what do you mean that's your #1 video? Like, why would anyone tune into your channel to see that?
They don't. Actually, they do, but I mean, they watch it, they find it in the search, they watch the video, they solve their problem, because it's usually problem-solving videos that do great. If you're just answering one question and they are out of there. And that was done before YouTube introduced shorts, because nowadays a lot of shorts do that. They say, do you know how to do this? Yeah, by the way, do it, go here, click on this checkbox and you're set, which takes a few seconds, right? That video was done way before the shorts craze came out. So yeah, it took off many months after I published it.
That's what happens. Rarely does you mentioned this, rarely does a video just take off the minute someone does it. Rarely. So it takes a while. And one other thing I look at Google is I'll go look at my top videos. They always want to show you the top 10. I use an application that lets me download all my videos and it shows me the views and watch time. And when I published it and all that jazz, and I like to do the top 25 and just see how I'm doing. So,
what are your feelings about these tools that promise to help your channel and help to give you insights, or maybe more, show you how to put your keywords in and all those things? You know which I'm talking about, like TubeBuddy, vidIQ.
I know, yeah, and I actually use TubeBuddy, and I like it. I know you use it also, and there's other ones like TubeBuddy. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think YouTube cares at all about keywords. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I put them in there because TubeBuddy always tells me to put them in there. For me, this is my list. Great title. Great description, especially at the very beginning. Get your description in there. If your video is long, add bookmarks or chapters. Always do that, which again is in the description. Reference other videos in the description if you need to. So in other words, don't be like I was back in 2016 with no description or very little description. I use a card, at least one card. So this is something I recently did. I'm always trying to get better at YouTube. TubeBuddy's always telling me to add cards, and I'm agreeing. In case someone's wondering what's a card, it's when you're watching the video and all of a sudden it says, hey, click up here to see how I did this. Or I don't want people to leave my video, and I used to put a card in around the 2-minute mark and the 4-minute mark and the 6. Then I thought one day, why? I don't want them to click the card because they may not come back to this video and they're leaving it. So now I do one card. It's towards the end of the video. Like when I think, okay, I think people may be tired of me talking. Let's stick something else in there. So I do put a card in there, but it's always at the back. I do the keywords. I think that's probably important, but not nearly as important as the other stuff that I mentioned.
You probably mean tags, not the keywords, because the keywords are everywhere.
I'm sorry. The keywords are everywhere. You're talking about tags. You're correct. I'm sorry. Yep.
Yeah.
It is the tags. Yeah.
Yes. It's true. YouTube doesn't put much stock on tags anymore.
Right.
So a lot of people, they're putting too much emphasis on tags. And I think some of these tools that help you are to blame for that, because they make tags seem like the most important thing sometimes. Hey, we suggest tags for you. Let us do your tags. Let us fill your tags. You have 500 characters for tags. Let's do a lot of tags. So they emphasize tags so much that people think, hey man, I get probably my video doesn't do very well because I am getting the tags wrong. But it's not true, because I've seen videos with no tags become super popular. So the tags really, YouTube even says, you know, because of this, people stuffing there all those spammy keywords you could think of, they are just used as a little suggestion, like a little hint on whether you have maybe some words that could be spelled differently, and it helps in search. But it's not like having perfect tags, 500 characters of amazing tags is going to make your video suddenly become super popular. That's not, you know, that's one of the things. And also, the other fields are getting neglected. The description obviously is the top one that goes in search, and the first part of the description, like you said, and obviously the thumbnail. If nobody clicks on it, nobody's going to watch it anyway, so what's the point? Yeah.
And a great thumbnail, by the way. You're the one that told me that again back in 2016 or something. So let's get you some
great
good thumbnails.
Thumbnail is one thing, but it's a little bit difficult to create clickbaity thumbnails for instructional content, which is both our channels are educational channels. So you could be doing a sensationalist kind of thumbnail where you say, you would not believe what Excel announced or something. Well,
I don't do that. Oh, I cannot. I'm not a, I know that those work for people, but I just don't do that. That's not me. That's my nature.
So let me ask you a little bit about your gear, because a lot of people obsess about the gear and, oh, I'm starting a YouTube channel. I better go and spend thousands on some really cool stuff to get my stuff, cameras, all those things. So you are at 65,000 subscribers. Not that it matters so much about subscribers, like you said, but you know, you can do educational content, videos on YouTube, and be very successful with even, you know, what someone would consider cheaper gear. Yeah. So just, you know, tell us a little bit about the gear you use, cameras, all those things. Software.
If someone's starting out, they're going to love this. I got 2 cameras I'm using, and I don't use them both at the same time, but right now I'm on a Logitech C920 camera. That camera's probably been out for 9 or 10 years. Still using it. It's on right now. I do have a Canon M50 vlogging camera that I also use in my videos, but sometimes I'll just use my web camera, and that C, whatever it was I just said, I think it's only about $500. It's not crazy. I do have this mic.
Really?
I think.
Sorry, the webcam, that's not $500, is it?
No, the Canon camera, though, was. The Canon M50 vlogging camera was $500. The Logitech C920 you can pick up for $50, $55 easily anywhere. They came out with the C922, same camera basically. I think it's a little wider. I had the Blue Yeti microphone. We're talking about $99 to $119 US. Do not use the microphone on your webcam. Don't be that cheap. That is horrible. I think the audio is more important than the video. Bad audio and people will turn it off immediately. Bad video, you're like, as long as it's not the screen you're showing or whatever. What else do I have? So I'm using this Rode mic now, and I still use the Blue Yeti, though this one's $250. I do have the shock mount and the arm with it. So the arm was $99. The shock mount came with it. So
you have a green screen, which is because
I have a green screen, which I love. Yeah, I got a Dell desktop, but a laptop would work. It doesn't have to be Dell. I know that you're a Mac user, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
At the moment, yes.
There you go. At the moment, yeah. So it doesn't take a lot of money to set up your YouTube. People are worried about the quality of the video and what you're saying. You can spend $2,000 on equipment and still have horrible videos because no one cares about what you're saying. So
yeah,
I'd encourage people, especially starting off, just don't spend a bunch of money.
And as far as software, what are you using to record?
Oh, I use Camtasia. I've been using Camtasia for years. I say for years, at least 9 or 10 years now. Easily, I've been using Camtasia. So they're on version 2023 or 2024. I can't remember. You know better than I do. You're always on
23 is the latest. Yes.
23, yeah. So got a green screen. I use that. What else? Just regular stuff. Regular keyboard and mouse. Nothing fancy there. So
that's great. Okay.
I do have two monitors, and that's whether you're making YouTube videos or not. You don't have to have two monitors, but I just find two monitors is the way to go. So can I ask you a question, Christian?
Yeah, go ahead.
What is your thought? Would you prefer two 27-inch monitors or one ultra-wide monitor?
I do not care for ultra-wide monitors because they don't have the resolution that I like. Many of the, unless it's a very expensive one, many of the monitors that are ultra-wide, I believe they're mostly for games, which they don't care about the vertical resolution. So they'll be like 4K horizontally or something, 5K even, but vertically they're like 1440 pixels. And 1440 is really low. I did have a widescreen and I returned it 2 days later because
I remember this actually.
I could not work. Yeah. It's too short. So that is my opinion on them. I would rather just have two screens side by side because I do a lot of vertical. I need a lot of vertical real estate on a screen. It's not so much the width as the height. Particularly if you're editing video, which I do all waking hours, you need to maybe sometimes stack several tracks on top of each other with different things you have in your timeline. So having a taller monitor is always great, always better.
One of the reasons I haven't tried it, and I know people that have it love it, I'm always in video calls, whether it's Teams or Zoom or whatever. And I'm sure that maybe there's even the software out there to do it now, but I want to share just one monitor and I want my stuff on the other monitor. So that's one reason I just won't do it. Like, I need my other monitor for my stuff over there, my notes and all that. So I don't know if there's software is built in now to say, share on this really wide monitor, just this portion. I don't know if it's there, but it would still make me nervous. Like, I still want people seeing my notes. Like, I'm nothing bad up, but I just don't want people seeing my notes and stuff.
Yeah, once you've done more than one monitor, it's very hard to go back. So as we're getting close to the end, I would like to ask you if you could share any tips or advice for other creators who are looking to grow their channels, or maybe they're just starting out. I know we talked about gear and all those things, but what would be your top, let's say, 3 pieces of advice for beginner creators, media makers, as we call them, and specifically maybe if you can, because that's your channel, for educational content?
Number 1, just keep making the videos. Sometimes you're going to be like, this isn't working. You just don't know. You may not know that it's not working for another year. And as you mentioned, we're talking about making over 100 videos anyway. So keep making them. Try to do at least 1 a week, maybe 2, whatever works for you. I don't know what, person's making. That would be number 1. Number 2, we've already covered. Make sure you do everything right from the title and the description. I'm not going to run through all that again, but make sure that's there. And number 3 is just promote it. Like, I promote my YouTube videos on I got my own website, my own blog posts. And so the videos that go on YouTube, a lot of them end up over on my website with the written instructions. And then I reference other YouTube videos there and other stuff.
And what is your opinion about sort of connecting with other creators or getting into communities or things like that?
Oh, I think that's fine. That's great. Yeah. I don't do a lot of it because I work full time during the day, and then I make my YouTube on the weekend, and then the wife and the kids. I want to spend time with them.
But you are on LinkedIn, so
I am. Oh, there you go. LinkedIn is a great source because that's a business social media platform. A lot of my videos end up on LinkedIn also. I get a lot of subscribers from LinkedIn.
That is awesome. Is there anything else you feel like you wanted to share and I didn't ask you?
No, this was fun. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this.
So where can people find your content? Can you tell us a bit of the top destinations, your website, maybe your YouTube?
It is Chris Menard Training is my website. And MENARD, all one word, chrismenardtraining.com. YouTube is chrismenardtraining.com/YouTube. LinkedIn, chrismenardtraining.com/ guess what? LinkedIn.
So you've got those redirects set up there.
I've got redirects set up because my memory's not that good, and I want to remember as little as possible. So there you go. Those are all redirects. Yes,
that's awesome. Obviously, we're going to put all these links in the show notes, in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And yeah, thank you very much for your time and insights. And congratulations, your channel seems to be going nice and steady. I enjoy working with you, and I may ask you to become my co-host on this show. What do you think?
Oh, I would love that. Yeah, we could, we know enough people we could get on here to talk about technology and software and just general IT stuff in general. Yes.
And media makers.
We need to have someone come on, talk about, and media makers. Yes. Very good. This is a lot of fun.
Thank you very much.
I like your platform too. This was easy. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks for joining. And for my listeners, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, check out the website, mediamakers.club. And also, if you want to subscribe to this, you should be able to find this podcast on all of your preferred podcast platforms out there. And I hope to see you on the next one.